All right, we're here today to talk about Gravity, which is a cloud software company offering solutions in financial disclosure management as well as budgeting and planning for finance and budget teams in local government. But before we get into the solution today, let's take a step back and talk a little bit about the state of local government and why we are here in the first place. Starting off with this figure here, 16%. This figure actually represents the amount of people polled who trust in government most of the time. Local government is in a crisis state, trying to do more with less and communicating to the public how taxpayer dollars are being spent. So, why are we here today? Well, some of the biggest challenges facing local government include budget constraints, always doing more with less, inefficient processes and paper based workflows, cybersecurity attacks, particularly targeting local government because they know that security and technology and infrastructure is far outdated. Difficulty in recruiting the next generation of civil servants because younger people want technology in the workplace to make their day to day jobs easier, and aging infrastructure. So, how are we solving these challenges? Well, we're talking about modern technology, software specifically, in a secure cloud infrastructure that can give you better financial reporting and forecasting, as well as report output and financial transparency to communicate that out to the public and build that trust and engagement again. Specifically, who is Gravity and what do we do? Well, we are cloud software, financial disclosure management, built by accountants and supported by many people who worked in local government in roles similar to yours, such as finance directors, budget directors, and administrators. Gravity is built on a multidimensional financial model backend cloud database with business intelligence using business rules to validate financial and budget data across all of your ERP data and disparate systems to bring in or to consolidate spreadsheets of data that don't really have anywhere else to live and that don't talk to each other. So now we are bringing in all of that data into one back-end system where you can get a much more accurate view of where the dollars are being spent, where they should be spent, planning and forecasting for the future, etc. Gravity is the only software, by the way, that does this end-to-end, that automates the financial close process in particular, including the built-in publisher, which we'll get to later. But this is meant to be an overlay to your ERP system, not meant to replace it, but rather to fill in the gaps of functionality that the ERP systems today do not provide. And Gravity is trusted by more than 200 customers in 36 states and growing. This is the solution set that Gravity offers today. Financial statement reporting is one of the modules that offers monthly and quarterly special reports, ACFR, PAFR. We have lease and debt modules to help you with all of your GASB annual reports. Budgeting and planning, a full budgeting and planning development suite that includes the publisher and reporting output like budget book, budget and brief, CIP book, as well as forecasting, analytics, and transparency. Grants management and reporting, so the CFA, single audit, asset management, as well as reconciliation management. If you are a visual learner, this is a quick overview of how Gravity works. So we're taking your budget templates or your report templates that you currently use, or you can choose ours. We're basically pulling in that design and also the ERP data, as well as anywhere else that you might have financial or budget data that you want to include in these reports. And then that all goes into the multidimensional financial model back end, where calculations and auto rounding are all driven by business rules that we set up for you. And data validation occurs here as well. Finally, we are able to help you automatically, with a click of a button, publish that report output into your beautifully branded budget book or ACFR that you hand off to your auditor. What are customers saying about Gravity? Well, we are trusted by over 200 customers, local governments across 36 states in the US. We only sell to local governments, so this is our area of expertise and our focus. Our customers are noticing a reduction in staff time up to 82%, which is average. We also see a 1 to 2% on average, up to 2.5% total budget savings by automating these tasks. And so if you think about that from the perspective of, okay, we're in a deficit this year, or we're in a hiring freeze, this is exactly the kind of thing that Gravity is helping you to avoid next year, because you can see all of this, you can plan it, you can forecast it, and reallocate that savings towards higher priority projects. A couple of quotes from specific people that I've talked to, and customers as well. We spend days looking for the rounding errors, and your validation dashboard does it automatically. It's an easy implementation, it's fast time to value. And the finance manager at Tampa Bay Water, Sandro, says a philosophy that I live by from my home country of Croatia is that however much you pay, that's how much music you're going to get. So we know that it's a high value return on investment. And Marianne Groth, the finance director at the city of Wausau, Wisconsin, says it looks professional, it's easy to use, the dashboards are a critical component to see everything, the departments can use it, and it was the right decision. So now let's take a quick look into our budget book demonstration. All right, so we're looking here at the home screen here after you've logged in. So you can see here that depending on what kind of modules you have purchased from Gravity and what you have access to, you will see those things right here. It's all on one home screen, easy access to everything that you need, not separate applications, not separate logins, none of that. But today we're just going to take a quick look at the budget book as an example, to give you an idea of what the user experience looks like. And we're going to open it here. So here's the dashboard, kind of the home page of the budget book application or the module. Over here on the left-hand side, navigation is each section of the budget book that you can work on. We can kind of go in order here, and it will print in that same order. You also see workflow status. The application has workflow assignments, and you can see where you're at in the development process of putting together and finalizing and approving the budget book. You can also see recent changes down here, who worked on what and when. You can also roll back to previous versions in case a mistake was made or you liked that version better. And then over here on the right-hand side, you can actually see my tasks and the status of, did I start this? Am I in progress? Did I finish it? Etc. So we're going to start here with the cover page by taking a look at this. You can see here that we can design a report template however you'd like to. You can change out the images every year, use all of your branding. This is easy for you to do. You don't have to come back to us to make these changes, which saves you time and allows you to just go in the application and self-serve, right? When we go into the expenditure report here, this is where we're pulling all of your financial data and budget data that you need to pull into the budget book. This is what's coming in from those external data sources into the multidimensional financial data model, and it is being rounded and calculated according to the business rules that we set up for you specifically. And we're automating this process, right? And so by automating this process, we're actually significantly reducing human error. We can't actually go in and change these numbers because it's being automatically pulled in. And then we click over here to the detailed view of the report, right? So we can get all of the details of what's rolling into that higher level summary so that you can see what's contributing to the higher level report output. This is easy for end users to understand and use and navigate because it looks like Excel, which is what they're familiar working in today. Therefore, it's easy to onboard your staff as well as promote adoption and continued use of the solution that you're investing in to automate these tasks. And then we can navigate here to the validation report. This is the dashboard that I mentioned earlier in the presentation that actually just identifies automatically where there are discrepancies in the data and where data is validated and where data is not validated. And the system will automatically identify those particular data points that need further checking. This allows all of our customers to have high confidence in Gravity as a solution that it is in fact checking and validating data so that you don't end up with incorrect numbers or inconsistencies across reports. And then we can go take a look at the expenditure narrative. This is where you're able to tell the story in plain English to the stakeholders like the public at large. What is being represented in this budget book, for example? It tells the story of what's happening, why, what changed from year to year, right? And even these increase by or decrease by will actually be linked to business rules on the back end. You can see all of these numbers as well as qualitative statements, defining or describing those numbers are highlighted in yellow here, and that means that it's tied to a back-end rule such that the system automatically knows, does this number or does this descriptor need to change, and to what does it need to change? And if it actually increased from last year, we need to change the wording from decrease to increase and vice versa. So this is all done automatically by the business intelligence in the back end to do all of this automation. We can also track version history here. So in the event that you want to make changes, right, it's just like a Word document. You can edit the narrative as you wish. You can also collaborate with teams to edit these documents, including an auditor if you're talking about doing the ACFR in Gravity. And you can see here what the most recent changes were and by who. As well as the ability to roll back to previous versions in case somebody accidentally deletes a whole paragraph, right? We can actually roll that back to the previous version and get it back. We also have the ability in Gravity to create organizational charts. So we have charts and graphs development capabilities. You can draw your own using shapes and colors, your own branding. Often this is one of those components of a budget book that takes a lot of time simply because it's kind of an unruly chart to create and fit all onto one page. And so you can just create your org chart as you wish, and Gravity will do the adjustments to make sure that it prints nicely. Finally, when we're talking about the budget process and the specific component of departments making their department budget requests, no longer are we using external spreadsheets because Gravity can actually create templates for your departments to enter into Gravity automatically their department requests, and then it's going into the backend database to help with that budgeting process, as well as engage your department stakeholders in adopting more modern technology because they're in the system now too. They understand what the finance department or what the budget team is using to manage the budget process, and this actually just creates even more internal buy-in for adopting modern technology. Finally, you can see here that because we need to collect that data from the department heads or their designees, right, there is workflow built into Gravity to allow that to happen. So you can create whatever type of workflow you want to and assign particular tasks to individuals so that they get notifications of, okay, it's time to enter in your budget request. And then you can see on the back end, okay, have they done that? Where's the status of this workflow? And, is it ready for me to approve, reject? Does it need to go back, etc.? So workflow management is going to help improve communication efficiency, as well as give you an overview, bird's eye view look of where your departments are at in their budget requests. We also have dashboards here, reports. You can actually see all of the budget details, visualize the budget actuals, the prior year budget, department requests. Where are we at in the process of all of these things, right? Not started, in progress. Is it in my hands now for finance review, for example? And how many have I approved? How many do I still have yet to go? Are we going to be on time this year? And breaking it down by funds and category of budget, just to give you everything that you need in one dashboard view that you can drill into if you need more specific information. Lastly, we have the report output. Gravity's built-in publisher tool to help you automate the production of that final report output with all of your branding on it, all of the narrative built in, all of the checks and balances on the validated data and consistencies across every page. This is all automatically done for you using the design templates that are created in Gravity so that you can easily roll over year to year and create your budget documents to publish online or print out or mail, however you communicate that to your stakeholders. So you have the MD&A, you have all of your linked table of contents that, by the way, are automatically updated. Page numbers automatically updated. You don't have to spend hours upon hours correcting that stuff yourselves. And that is the end-to-end demonstration of Gravity's budget book automation.